In the heart of New York City, where glass towers kissed the clouds, lived Daniel Cross, a self-made millionaire known for his charm and ruthless business tactics. To the outside world, he was perfection, handsome, wealthy, and married to a beautiful young woman named Amelia Grace. Their wedding had been the talk of the city, a fairy tale event where gold draped every corner and celebrities filled the aisles. But behind the closed doors of their mansion, the fairy tale had long died. Amelia was gentle and kind, the type of woman who spoke softly but carried oceans of emotion in her eyes. She had left her father's empire, Grace Industries, a billion-dollar conglomerate, to marry for love, not power. Her father, Edward Grace, had been reluctant. He warned her, "Men like Daniel don't love, they own." But love makes us blind, and Amelia believed Daniel was different. It started small, a raised voice here, a cruel word there. Daniel, pressured by business losses and haunted by insecurities, began to lash out. One night, when dinner was late, he slammed his fist on the table. The china shattered. Amelia flinched, but said nothing. The next night, he shoved her when she tried to comfort him. Then came the first strike. A single slap, followed by an apology drenched in tears and promises. "I'm sorry, Amy," Daniel whispered, cradling her face. "I'll never do it again." But it did happen again. And again. As weeks turned into months, Amelia learned how to hide. She wore long sleeves, applied heavy makeup, and smiled for the cameras when reporters appeared. The mansion staff suspected. Bruises don't lie, but Daniel's money kept their silence. What no one knew was that Amelia was pregnant. 3 months along, she carried the fragile miracle quietly, protecting it from the rage of the man who shared her bed. She often whispered to her unborn child, "Hold on, my little one. Mommy's going to keep you safe." But Daniel's temper only grew worse. One stormy night, Daniel returned home drunk after losing a major business deal. Amelia was waiting by the door, her hands trembling as she offered him soup. "Don't you pity me?" he shouted, throwing the bowl across the room. The hot soup splattered across her arm, burning her skin. When she cried out, he struck her, again and again. By the time he stopped, she had counted 300 blows. Her body was weak, but her spirit broke that night. She collapsed to the floor, whispering through her tears, "God, if you can hear me, save my child." Daniel left her there, unaware that she was bleeding. When dawn came, Amelia somehow found the strength to crawl to the door. The maid, Maria, discovered her and screamed. Within minutes, an ambulance arrived. At the hospital, doctors worked frantically to save her and the baby. Against all odds, both survived. When asked who did this to her, Amelia whispered, "Please, don't tell anyone." But fate had other plans. A nurse recognized her last name and called the only person who could help, Edward Grace, her father. Edward arrived within an hour, his presence filling the hospital with silent power. The CEO who once commanded boardrooms now stood trembling beside his broken daughter. When he saw the bruises, he fell to his knees. "My baby, what did he do to you?" For the first time in his life, Edward Grace wept openly. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "You'll never go back there. I promise." Then he made a single call, not to the police, but to his private security team. "Bring him to me," he said coldly. Daniel was dragged into the Grace Tower, the 80th floor where Edward ruled his empire. Disheveled and terrified, he faced the father-in-law he had mocked behind closed doors. Edward didn't shout. He didn't threaten. He simply placed a file on the desk, full of evidence, medical reports, photos, and witness statements. "You hit my daughter 300 times, Edward said quietly. "You broke her body, but you will not break her future." Daniel sneered, "You can't touch me. You were," Edward interrupted. "Now, you're nothing." Within hours, Daniel's companies were audited, his accounts frozen, and his reputation destroyed. The media exposed him as an abuser. He was arrested on multiple counts of assault. The world he built on pride crumbled overnight. Amelia spent months recovering in her father's private estate. She gave birth to a beautiful baby girl named Hope. The name carried a meaning only a survivor could understand. With time, therapy, and love, Amelia began to smile again. She painted, She wrote letters to her daughter, and she helped other women escape abusive homes through a new foundation, the Hope Haven. One afternoon, as she sat by the window, Edward joined her. He looked at his daughter and granddaughter, and said softly, "You see, Amy, kindness is not weakness, it's strength that survives pain." She smiled. "You were right, Dad. Love didn't save me, kindness did." Years passed. Daniel served his time in prison, and when he got out, he was a shadow of his former self. One day, he showed up at a charity event, from a distance, watching Amelia speak about forgiveness. When the event ended, he approached her cautiously. "Amelia, I'm sorry, I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed to tell you, I've changed." She looked at him quietly, then said, "I forgave you a long time ago. But not for you, for me. Because hate would have kept me in that dark place forever." Tears filled Daniel's eyes as he nodded. "You're stronger than I ever was." Amelia smiled gently. "Be kind to yourself. Start over." As the years went by, the Hope Haven Foundation grew into a global movement, helping thousands of women and children rebuild their lives. Amelia became a symbol of courage and compassion. Her daughter, Hope, grew up surrounded by love and strength. On her 5th birthday, Amelia whispered to her, "You are proof that light can grow even in darkness." Edward watched them from afar, his heart full. He had protected his daughter not just with power, but with kindness, patience, and faith. And for the first time in a long while, he smiled knowing that despite all the pain, life had written a happy ending after all. Amelia's story became known worldwide, not as a tragedy, but as a testament to resilience. She taught that kindness isn't weakness, forgiveness isn't surrender, and love, real love, begins with self-respect. And somewhere, deep within the walls of Grace Tower, a plaque hung that read, "Greater than, she was beaten 300 times, but she rose once, and that was enough to change everything."